Hey everybody, Questwise here, and today's kind of a special edition because tomorrow is a very special day. Tomorrow, we at Bloat Games and the Questwise channel are going to be launching this Dark Places Demogorgons, the Cryptid manual on Kickstarter. That's tomorrow. It's January 15th. I can't believe the day is already almost here. The anticipation has been building for so long about this game, about this product for this game. There are many other people out there who have done reviews, so I'm not going to bore you with another review, and it seems kind of egotistical to give you my review of the book because, I mean, I kind of already did, and I'm kind of the co-writer. So what I wanted to do today is I wanted to talk to you about the product a little bit, give you a little heads up on the Kickstarter that's starting up tomorrow. I want to talk to you about a few other events that are going on that are going to be centered around this book. And I wanted to give you sort of an inside, sort of behind the scenes look at one of the creatures in here and how I came up with creating it and the process that I took in designing it as well. So once again, tomorrow, January 15th, I believe it launches early in the morning, 9 a.m. I could be wrong. I'll put the link to the Kickstarter down below, or to the announcement for the Kickstarter down below in the notes. But Dark Places and Demogorgons, the Cryptid manual, I have to say once again, this has been a great product to work on. And if you want to check out some of the other reviews, I'll try to throw a link in the description below on a couple of the other reviews out there as well too. But you can find them. Just type in Cryptid manual into YouTube and Dark Places Demogorgons. You'll see them all pop up. Yeah, some great ones out there. Some people have been saying some really, really great things about this, and I thank them for that as well, too. It's a very great project to work on. Very fun. Excited about this one. So, one of the things I also wanted to point out was that I'll be doing I'll be running an actual live play using some creatures from this book. On January 23rd, that's a Wednesday, at 9 p.m. It's over on the Victory Condition Gaming channel, and that's Doug, and he's got a whole crew of people set up who are going to be playing in the game. His channel is actually hosting the event, and I'll be running the game using some creatures from this, and we'll be running some Dark Places and Demogorgons. If you want to check that out as well too, it's going to be a lot of fun. Victory Condition Gaming is a great channel, one I look up to very highly, and I'm very excited about being on there and running a game for them and the people that he's picked out. I've already talked to the players a little bit already, and we've got some just pre-game stuff going on. But that's January 23rd. It's a Wednesday. I believe it's 9 p.m. I'll also put a link to his channel down below, as if you want to go check that out. He's got it all scheduled up and everything as well too. So let me give you a little behind the scenes director's cut, if you will, on a creature in here that was one of my favorites. Now, the thing that Josh and I set out to do was we wanted to collect and collaborate on cryptid creatures. Cryptid being creatures, monsters that science can't describe, they can't classify, they can't put in anything, and so they become, creatures like Bigfoot. We don't really have any evidence of Bigfoot, but there's the lore and this history behind Bigfoot. Aliens, the Popolic monster. There's tons and tons of different ones. So what we tried to do is we tried to collect a bunch of those in here, give them stats that you can use in Dark Places and Demogorgons, as well as sort of any other OSR product. The rules are easily interchangeable between any of those. You could do some of these in Labyrinth Lord and whatnot as well too. Hero's Journey. I mean, it's very thing, but it's definitely geared towards Dark Places and Demogorgons. But what we want to do is we want to put a bunch of those kind of things in there. Mythical monsters. Things that you wouldn't see in an everyday monster manual. But one of the other things too that we wanted to do is we wanted to start our own new mythology. We wanted to create some creatures that nobody had ever seen before, and sort of begin our own sort of cryptid lore of these creatures and where they come from, and give them much like other cryptid creatures, sort of give them that mythology and that lore and that background that sort of comes out of folk tales and stuff. So one of those creatures that I created and I came up with, so there again, and I'm not going to spoil them for you, but if you can pick them out, I think we should have a victory celebration for you. But there are several monsters in here that have never been seen anywhere else in the world before, that have sprung from our own very imagination. But one of those today, I'm going to give you a little teaser, is on page 58. It's called the Shekels. The Shekels, I'll give you a little bit of a preview. I think I can probably show, I'll put doobly wacky up here, a picture of it here in the corner. But the Shekels are creatures, they are ghosts of children who died on Halloween. And they appear every Halloween in small towns all across the U.S. And their goal is to not be lonely anymore. The reason that they died is that they got lost and they starved to death, or maybe they fell into an accident and were just never found. They're just presumed missing and have always been and have never been recovered. And they're lonely and they're scared. And so their goal, being from the other sort of, pouring through from the other side on the night that they died, their goal is to lure other children to follow them into the woods, because they don't want to be alone anymore. And so in luring other children into the forest and helping them get lost and helping them find their demise on Halloween night, they are able to add to their small gang of beings and not be so lonely anymore. So these are it's kind of a dark theme. The only reason that you would ever know you've seen a shekel is that they're dressed just like a little kid on Halloween. But their Halloween costumes tend to be just a little bit outdated. They look a little bit different from what the modern kids are wearing in the 80s and 90s, whenever you set your game. But they're tied very closely to Halloween. So in that regard, they're a little bit narrowly, there's not a big variety, although you can throw the Halloween thing away. But their lore is sort of tied to Halloween night, and that's when that they appear the most. But their Halloween costumes seem to just be off by an era or two. They're just a few decades off, and makes them kind of sort of stand out. And they have this overwhelming allure to draw children away from trick-or-treating, to follow them into the woods, to show them where the best candy and stuff is. But there's a downside to that. There's a trick to this as well too, in that the Shekels are very, very curious, and a way to defeat them and to stop them is that if you can confound them, if you can trick them with a limerick or a riddle, it will confuse them long enough that the children would be able to run away. And so this is something that I wanted to put into this a sort of like a catch-22 kind of a aspect where it's not just an overwhelming, you fail your saving throw and your character instantly dies. They just disappear off into the woods with these creatures and never to be seen again. Wanted to give them a little bit of a chance. I didn't want them to be that cruel. So I added in this idea of the curiosity, that they're very curious about things and they're always asking. They never really speak to anybody, but they're very, they're intrigued by shiny objects. They're intrigued by interesting costumes. They're overwhelmingly captivated by riddles and by limericks and things that they can't sort of understand. And that's Shekels in a nutshell. I'm not going to spoil all of it for you because I want you to go and I want you to pledge for this book. If you don't already have Dark Places and Demogorgons, part of the Kickstarter will be that you can pledge for a copy of the core book in addition to this as well too. But a little insider look at one of the creatures in the book. And then, like I said, on January 23rd, I'll be debuting an entirely new monster from the book over at Victory Condition Gaming and on our live play. That's a Wednesday, January 23rd as well too. So everybody, thanks for watching. Go out there, share this video if you can. Let's make this a kick-ass, not just for me, but for Bloat Games in general. If you're a fan of Dark Places and Demogorgons, you're going to want this. This is one of the coolest monster books I think I've ever had a chance to work on. And if I hadn't worked on it, I would want a copy of this anyway, because there's some really, really cool stuff. If nothing else, buy it for the Runehammer art. This whole thing is littered with Runehammer art, and it is badass. I love this guy's artwork and his vision on things. So if nothing else, it is a kick-ass. It is a really kick-ass art book for Runehammer. Yeah, until next time, I'm Questwise, and I'm out.